Antoine de Saint-Exupéry was an aristocrat. He was a poet, a journalist, and a writer, and he's most famous for having written 1943's The Little Prince. The Little Prince has been translated into 300 different languages and sold over 140 million copies worldwide. It truly is one of the most treasured and cherished of all books. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry was a pioneering aviator. He was in World War II, but prior to that, he actually used to race airplanes. He was trying to break the record on a flight from Paris to Saigon and crashed along with his co-pilot in the Sahara Desert. It's this experience that actually led to the story of The Little Prince. It's no surprise that film was very invested in bringing this story to life because it was so universal and so beloved. So by the time Stanley Donen, the director of Singing in the Rain, came to make his version of The Little Prince in 1974, it was a story that everyone around the globe knew. We have two performances in 1974's The Little Prince that really make it iconic. One of them is Gene Wilder as the fox. Adapting this story is challenging because you have several characters that are animals and you're forced to have them interact with this little boy verbally. In this case, Stanley Donen took a really interesting tactic and has the animal characters portrayed by humans intercut back and forth with their animal forms. It's very surreal and quite effective.
You're a prince?
Yes.
The other performance in The Little Prince that is constantly cited because of how iconic it is that of choreographer, actor, and Oscar-winning director Bob Fosse. Bob Fosse and Stanley Donen were very close friends, and so he jumped at the opportunity to be the snake in The Little Prince.
What are you?
What am I? I'm a snake.
I'm enchanted.
Well, you should be.
You're cold and slimy.
Thank you. It runs in the family.
The snake in The Little Prince is a dangerous character. It's a character that really symbolizes death, but also a return to loved ones. The Little Prince offers himself up to be bitten by the snake so that he can return to his planet and return to the love of his life, the rose.
The sheep you asked for is inside.
That is exactly the way I wanted it.
In 2015, we got our first full-length animated adaptation of The Little Prince in Mark Osborne's film. It's a film that's very based in the story from Saint-Exupéry, but it also expands it and modernizes all of its meaning. This is a film that uses double storylines. It's a story within the story. We see this little girl meet the aviator from Saint-Exupéry's story grown up. He's aged and trying to remember what he experienced when he encountered the Little Prince. He's who tells her this story, and she's very absorbed into this world. So we're getting a dual timeline and a dual narrative, and it's quite effective. It uses two different animation styles. For the story that's based on The Little Prince, we have stunning stop-motion animation where all the dolls are made out of paper. And yet in the 2015 world, it's computer-generated graphics. It's CGI. Merging these two animation styles and merging these two stories that take place in very different times really works on an emotional level.
He left her? All alone? But where did he go?
Well, he didn't know it at the time, but his leaving was just the first step on a journey back to her.
This is a film that attracted a very A-list cast. We have Jeff Bridges. We even have Marion Cotillard doing both the French version of the film and the English version as the Rose. This was a film that really struck, I think, the hearts of a lot of performers because they wanted to lend their voice talents to a story that is this beloved. Saint-Exupéry would disappear during World War II, mere months after the publication of The Little Prince, and it led to a decades-long search for his plane's whereabouts and his remains. It's a search that's still ongoing today. But what he gifted us was this magical, transformative story that we're still enjoying to this day, both on the page and on the big screen.